Hello. So this is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. It's the show where you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. It's kind of up to you. Take a seat. My name's Mikey. What's your name?
Jay.
Jay?
Yeah.
Have you got anything you want to talk about so far?
Not really.
No?
No.
I can tell you. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. This is Talkaoke Pop-Up Talk Show. We are just starting. We don't have a subject yet. I can tell you. Come and join in. So far it's just me, Mikey and Jay, is it? I can tell you what we talked about so far today. We talked about the price of food. Should churros be half price for the under 18s? Should young people be allowed to work? We talked a little bit about that. We talked about football. Is the amount of money spent on football, should that be spent on the NHS instead? Apparently, there's £173 million been spent on Liverpool's midfield. Could that money have gone to hospitals? Or is it a good investment? That was another subject. We talked a little bit about Brexit. Is Brexit a bad idea, a good idea? Should it have been thought out before they made the vote rather than afterwards? Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. We're just starting up. My name's Mikey. We've got Jay here. What's your name?
Zoe.
Zoe. So we don't have a subject yet. I was just going through the subjects we've talked about so far. Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. You can bring your drink. We've got another face. What's your name? Ed. We've got Zoe. We've got Jay. I'm Mikey. We're just starting this up, but we don't have a subject yet. I was just going through all the. What's that?
Virginity.
Virginity?
Yeah.
What do you want to say about virginity?
I just think it's like seen as this kind of holy land, and I just don't know.
Yeah.
We need to kind of rethink it, really. It's a very archaic principle, but it's still pervasive in this modern world, so discuss.
Okay. What's it, Ed?
Ed, yeah.
Have you got a view on this?
About virginity?
Yeah.
I don't know, I disagree. I'd say it's quite sacred, quite, you know.
Even today in 2018, I was about to say 2017.
I think
but,
you can pretty much speak to anyone and then know the first person they sleep with, so how is
Okay.
that not an important memory?
Okay, so it's an important milestone, virginity. Have you got any views on this, Jay?
I'm only 14, I don't really care.
You don't care?
Dreams,
We're at the moment right now, this is talking.
Topic.
We can stick on it. I mean, it's up to you. It's kind of up to you.
Because I spoke to a woman who was 96, and she said, "Oh, I'm not a virgin, but I soon will be." And I thought, I've maybe kind of reset my virginity a couple of times. We all make mistakes.
I mean, should you be able to reset your virginity? That's
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, maybe we could widen up the subject, like, when you have, I mean, I guess it could fit into the. Come and take a seat. Come and get involved in this. We've got Ed. We've got Zoe. We've got Jay.
Virginity.
At the moment, there's the subject on the table.
We want to change
that we're discussing virginity.
Okay, so come and have a seat. Don't be shy. So we got Ed. We got Zoe. We got Jay. What's your name?
Pat.
And
Steve.
So basically, Zoe's put this on the table. She's saying basically virginity is kind of like a little bit over kind of emphasised, and you should in a way be able to reset your virginity for a different phase in life. So what I was trying to do is kind of spread this out, generalise this conversation a bit more, to make it into other milestones in your life.
Can you just reset it?
Yeah, I mean,
it could be. Well, but even should that be a mistake? That's a separate discussion. But sometimes we go down the wrong path. Can you just forget that?
I mean, in a way, do we take some of our life too seriously when we do go down the wrong path? Yeah. Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We have got Ed. We got Zoe.
Let's find a child for this.
Well, we've kind of done it. We've kind of done it, Zoe. We've moved it, spread it out a little bit. Anyway, come. Okay, come and bring you. This is beer proof. This table. So what was it again? Pat. Pat and Steve and Jay and Zoe and Ed and I'm Mikey. So we're talking about, I guess, in a way that does for younger people, there's things like, you've got to choose what subjects you take at school.
Everything's too definitive.
Yeah.
So exactly, you've got to do this by this time. You've got to do that by that time. If you do this thing, it means you're this.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was young, in 1980, I decided that I was going to be a West Ham United supporter. Since then, they haven't won anything. And that's been 38 years, that's been.
Probably sue. They could probably sue.
Yeah.
Being a football fan is not about winning. It's about the ups and
He supports
downs.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
It's something that you can never change. The team you support, you've got to stick with.
So you might be able to reset your virginity, but you cannot change your football team.
Football team.
Yeah, you can't do it.
You can't reset your virginity, can you? It's a one-off thing and it's gone.
I mean, are you looking at life? Are you looking at life in too much of a fatalistic kind of? Hang on a second.
People define virginity as obviously like the first place to sleep with.
Yeah.
So you have lost virginity, but doesn't mean anything.
What if you can't remember?
You've still lost your virginity, haven't you?
I mean,
Does it matter?
Okay.
If somebody falls in the woods, who's going to hear it? If I fall into bed,
Do you want to
who's going to hear that?
Do you want to
Well, I mean, is it more important? All right, how about this, Zoe? Is it more important who you talking about falling, who you fall in love with? The first person you fall in love with. Is that a more important milestone? Jay, have you got any views on this?
Not really.
No?
Come on.
Pat, Steve?
We got married at 19.
Yeah. Was it too early?
And now I'm 21.
Yeah. How have those 2 years been?
So we've been married 38 years.
Yeah.
We just...
So also it's 1980, was the same time I was choosing to support West Ham.
Yeah.
So was it?
So you make a choice based on a number of factors and decisions, and if it works, great, wonderful.
Yeah. But I mean, have you ever? Oh, hang on a sec, Jay. Let me get a final thought before you go. Let me finish the.
Jay's cold.
But we've said about milestones and things. Life is however it turns out. Now we got lucky.
Okay, Jay. Final thought. I mean, what about making decisions like choosing your options and stuff like that? Do you ever think, this is a really big decision? Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah, but you do all you can to keep your options open. So
so keep your options open.
So you're not making it there's only a few things you can actually do with the options you pick.
Okay, so you've got to make sure you keep. Have you been keeping your options open, Steve? Is there a point where you?
Love Island,
Is there a point where you kind of close down? Yeah, where you close down your options.
I think in terms of relationships and marriage, yes.
Yeah.
So I found a woman and went for it.
Yeah.
In terms of and I've stuck with my rugby team all my life.
Yeah. What rugby team is that?
I'm a Hull FC fan.
Right. Okay.
I've been through thin and thin until recently, and we won a couple of trophies. But other things, you try new things.
Thank you, Jay.
New bands, new music, new festivals.
Yeah. Come and have a seat at the table of chat. On the way back. But wash your hands. Or hand sanitize your hands, as I should say, because there's not actually anything to wash them with. But anyway, so where do we want to go with this conversation? We're talking about keeping your options open, we're closing it down, commitment, decisions. Are we defined by the decisions we make? Ed, Pat, Steve, where do we go with this conversation? Do you feel defined by the decisions you make? Do you think you can hit the reset button?
Yeah, I think what I've learned is life is too set out for you. So you're pretty much forced to try and do something by this age. Whereas I've kind of learned, don't follow that rule.
So you think there is a kind of pathway that's been laid 100%. Out for you?
The UK is ridiculous for that. You've got to go to school, you've got to go to college, you've got to go to uni, you've got to get a job, you've got to pay taxes, you've got to die. That's pretty much it. Whereas for me, it's, don't follow a path, just do what makes you happy.
You would rather die first and then pay taxes?
No, obviously, these are fundamental things. But the point I'm making is that it is very definitive. It's very laid out for you.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about life. We've moved on a little bit, Zoe. Well, now we're talking about basically Ed's put this, life choices, but Ed's kind of put it on the table that in this country it's all laid out for us. As soon as we're born, we know we're going to go to school, we're going to go, hopefully then go to university, then hopefully get a job, then pay taxes, then die. And it's all laid out for us.
Right then, but as an older guy, it's a lot more liberal than it was 40, 50 years ago. Yeah, absolutely.
Like you chose a career, you're stuck with it, and
so
it was
much
jobs
tougher.
for life. I mean, it's only like now, jobs aren't for life.
Yeah.
So for you, was that job for life, so you know you've got long-term security, or job for life, I'm going to be bored, I'd love to try other careers? I never know which side.
Okay, so there's, in a way, there's a trade-off between knowing that you're secure, but also not really having...
Anxiety in youngsters now is like at a record high, and you know, probably like...
Yeah, let me bring some of the younger people in. Are you anxious?
Yes.
What are you anxious about?
It's just like, I wish you didn't need to die in the end of your life. I wish you stay alive.
Okay, so you're worried about the end of your life, but shouldn't you only worry about that when you get to the end of your life?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so we have got Pat, we've got Steve, we've got Zoe. What's your name?
Sunny.
Sunny, that's right. And we got Ed, and what's your name?
Crosby.
What was it?
Crosby.
Okay, so we're talking about. There's two ways to look at this. Are we too anxious as young people? I say we. Are young people too anxious about where they're going to do, what they're going to do, where they're going to go? Is Crosby too worried about the end of his life rather than the beginning? Or there's a question about job security and are we? We were talking about that a bit earlier on. But what the conclusion people came to earlier on was that
you'd have a job. Who would know you'd have a job in a tent interviewing people for a talk show at a festival?
Exactly.
And it's a thing.
Yeah, I know. I surprise myself sometimes in this.
The jobs aren't even invented, Crosby, that you're going to do when you grow up.
Okay.
Nobody knows what you're going to be. You could be a discombobulator of something. I don't know.
Okay. A doctor. But will your job be can't a robot be better at doing doctoring than
I'd rather be an inventor.
An inventor. Maybe you could invent a robot doctor. Okay, so where do we want to take this? I've kind of laid it out on the table for you. What part of that are you interested in or worried about, or any of it?
AI taking over the world.
Steve?
I don't give a shit about AI, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Before they've taken over. So.
Yeah. You don't really care about that. But what about this idea that you define yourself by your decisions? Well, we could go to that main kind of philosophical point. But do we define ourselves by our decisions? What decisions in life have we made that have defined us?
I think you're defined by how you react to your decisions. If it's a bad decision, how you stick with it.
Yeah, I don't know. So I do like to ask this question to people: what is the most worthwhile thing you've ever done? And it's a really shocking wake-up call. I can't answer it. People are like, "Oh, you've got 4 children." It's like, well, they're amazing, but is it worthwhile? Is it altruistic?
You don't feel it's worthwhile to have reproduced 4 times?
Yeah, they're amazing children, but I don't think it's altering. There's these kids that invent things that sift shit out of the sea at a phenomenal rate for
finds to cure cancer or.
Okay, you're putting it all on the kids then, really.
He's just so worried about
Okay, anyway, well, let's go around the table with this. What's the most worthwhile? It's a tough question, but we're not afraid to ask the tough questions here on Talkaoke. Crosby, what's the most worthwhile thing you've ever done?
I don't know, really.
You don't know?
Yes.
Who's Kira? Anyway, what's the most worthwhile thing you've ever done?
Make my mum proud.
Yeah? How have you done that?
Don't know, she's proud.
Yeah.
Successful.
Just by being. Yeah, okay. What's the most worthwhile? Anything apart from the children?
I can't even answer it. There's so
Well,
many
yeah.
bad things I've done. Nothing could wipe out all the bad.
Okay, well, we're getting very we're searching deep. Suddenly it's 4:30, we're searching deep.
I do my gran's and my neighbour's feet, and they're really old, and their feet are really scary.
What
so
do
I
you
do all
do
that.
them?
Give them pedicure. I'm not unqualified in pedicure by any.
You have a go.
I love grabby. I'll get in there with a knife, and and that's worthwhile. But it's not going to change the world, is it?
Okay, well then you would have done something even more worthwhile. Okay. What's the most worthwhile thing you've ever done? Is it having your feet done by Zoe?
We could be if she did them, but no, I can't think of anything.
Okay. We've got a new face in the table. I guess you just crawled under. Steve, most worthwhile thing you've ever done?
You know, to me, it's just about being a good guy, making friends. You know, not making enemies, being tolerant.
Yeah. Supporting Hull FC through Thin and Thin.
So, you know, charities, friends, people. You're just trying to be a good egg.
Okay, so just being good and just continually, persistently being good. What's the most worthwhile thing you've ever done? I know we're not afraid to ask the big questions here. Yeah?
Doing sports every day.
Doing sports every day.
For 1 hour.
For 1 hour. Sports, the most worthwhile. What's the most worthwhile thing you've ever done? That's quite a worthwhile outfit. You could do better with the shirt, I feel. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Ed. This is Crosby. Crosby, Steve, and Pat. What are you doing? Are you performing, or are you going to the loo?
I'm performing in the loo.
Okay.
I don't have to know that.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. Break a leg.
It doesn't sound worthwhile.
What? It doesn't sound. It sounds worthwhile to me at a certain stage. What are you going to go and see?
Just the next one, Art School Girlfriend. That's where we should be, because I can hear her dulcet tones. Art School Girlfriend.
Art School Girlfriend?
Girlfriend?
Okay, give us a final thought. It's been a lot more of a. Come on, join in. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Doesn't matter. The children can wait. They're fine playing by themselves. We have to keep an eye on them all the time these days. It never used to be a problem. Anyway, let's get a final thought.
A bit here though, don't they?
Yeah. Final thought, Pat?
Let's hope the rain stops. That's my final thought.
I think it kind of has, isn't it?
That's I think we're set for a lovely, lovely sunny weekend. It's going to dry up. It'll be fantastic.
Is there anything?
Not like last year.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking forward to this weekend?
Yeah, the beer tent.
I'll take a beer tent and a decent night's sleep.
Okay. Are you going to get that?
Right up there.
Yeah.
I usually do actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. So I want no crying babies in the middle of the night. No rain through the night, and a nice lion in the morning.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good weekend.
Okay.
Might come and join you tomorrow.
Okay. Well, we're here all weekend. Steve's highlight of the festival is going to be sleeping. That's. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is talking at 2 minutes. Yes, you. Come on. We have got Zoe. We've got Ed. We've got Crosby, and we've got what's your name? No. Yes, come and get involved.
Come on, it's so much fun.
Come on. Are you all fed?
Yeah.
Well, no, I was getting these people in for you to talk to them. I was bringing these people in so that you could talk to them, and now you're going. Why do I do it? Why do I bother? Okay, anyway, what's your name?
Graham.
And
Joe.
And Crosby, are you off as well, Crosby? Let's get some final thoughts.
I just think everything should be free.
Everything should be free. Do you mean free as in beer or free as in speech?
Free.
Free.
Like when you can buy it by no money.
Okay, so that's free as in beer. That's like free money free. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. You can talk to me. These guys, I don't know. I was trying to get you to meet them.
We're frightening them off.
I don't know. I think they were. I think it was awe more than fear. You know, they were just awestruck. But come and have a seat. Can we get involved in this? This is Talkaoke. I don't know who these people are. What's your name again?
Graham.
And
Joe.
And
Johnny.
Johnny and Mikey. We've kind of got a new, I don't know what you call it, intake of Talkaokeists here. That you're the Talkaokeists. But we don't. I mean, I can. Maybe this person as well. What's your name? Was it?
Oh, you've got to sit down. No, I don't like microphones.
Okay, so I was so excited about these people. I remember Johnny, but I've forgotten your name. It's gone completely out of your name. Joe. And what was it?
John.
No, it's Graham. I didn't think it was John. And what's your name again?
Anne Harrod.
Anne Harrod.
Yes.
At the moment we're talking about, we're not really talking about anything because we've got new people. So I can tell you what we've talked about so far today, and if any of that kind of strikes a chord, then we can maybe carry on with that. We talked about the price of churros here. Is it too expensive, especially for young people? Should it be?
What is the price?
Apparently, from Churromania, it's £5. And should it be £2.50 for those under 16 or under 18? But then that went into a discussion about the earning power of young people, and should they be exposed to the labour market more? I didn't quite put it in those words.
Sometimes little kids can hustle better. A friend of ours is a trader,
and
his 5-year-old and his 8-year-old made 160 quid at the last festival because they were really cute.
Did they get a cut of that?
They get food and shoes. I
Food
guess.
and shoes. Okay.
But what,
As a parent.
Yeah.
what if you had some kind of Fagin figure who was, sending his band of irregulars in to get cut price food and then probably scalping it somewhere for a profit?
Okay, so you could actually.
I'm just saying it's open to abuse.
Okay, well, is that abuse or just good business practice?
Well, it's good business.
I mean, is that where we're going? I mean, one of the things we were talking about earlier on, believe it or not, is we were talking about Brexit. And in fact, come and have a seat. Can we get involved in this? We're talking about should somebody like you be employed at this festival to sell stuff? Because you're better at selling stuff than an adult. Because we don't trust adults. We trust someone like you for some reason. What's your name? What's it? Eric, we got Johnny, we got Anne Howard, we got Joe, we got Graham and Mikey. Come and have a seat. We're talking about. It's a subject from earlier. We don't have to go with this, by the way. It's just what we were talking about earlier on.
I've only got a few minutes.
Okay. I mean, do you think that young people should have more access to jobs? Would you like to do a job if you could, say, for example, sell the face painting over there? Bring people in.
Yeah, I suppose.
Maybe you could get £2 for every face painting. Would you do that job?
I suppose so, yeah.
Have you got a job already though?
No. Should kids have more jobs?
I don't know. I suppose if they're responsible enough.
Okay. Are you responsible?
I think so.
Okay. So yeah, seems quite responsible. I mean, what do you think? Are we?
It starts off bringing in hustling for face painters, and then we're sending them back up the chimney as with in Dickensian times.
I mean, that was also a popular idea earlier on, but then somebody pointed out we don't have enough chimneys anymore. But I did have an offer to clean out my central heating system from one child. Anyway, as I said, we don't have to go along that subject, but we could do. I don't know. I mean, where do you want to take this conversation? What do you want to talk about? What do you people want to talk about? It could be anything. I mean, it could be we could combine this with the Brexit idea. Maybe that deregulation of the labour market might actually help us to bring some of these ideas to the fore and get those children being more economically productive. I don't know, but I mean that's my subject. It's not your subject. It's kind of up to you. Graham? Where do you want to take this? What do you want to talk about?
I'm still thinking about the labour and the kids.
Okay.
I think they should enjoy themselves. I think they need to work quite.
But they need to. Enough going to school, isn't it?
Okay. You think school's not?
What about if they just had jobs instead of going to school?
Could they do it the other way around?
No school.
They've got to be kids for a while. They've got to be kids. They've got to learn to grow up and enjoy themselves.
Okay. I mean, is it more fun?
They could play at being entrepreneurs and play about making dosh and all this kind of stuff. But it would need to be play, and that's the thing. It wouldn't be play.
Okay, so it's got to be more playful.
They'd have too much power if they had actual money.
Yes.
And then we'd have no purpose anymore.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. That was a rubbish comment from over there. Sorry. Anyway, so it could be more playful, but I mean, do you have more fun working or do you have more fun going to school? What do you think? Working is actually more fun.
Yeah, way more.
Rewarded with money. Working, kids would enjoy that.
It's often grass is greener, isn't it?
Do you think so?
Yeah. When you're a kid, you think it's hard, and then you're an adult and you think it's hard again.
Okay. I mean,
Would you go back to school? Would you go back to being a kid?
No.
Okay, let's go around. This is a good question. Would you go back to being a kid?
You have more freedom as an adult, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're in charge of yourself.
Would you go back to being a kid?
I'd go back to being a kid in a heartbeat. Oh yeah,
why?
In a heartbeat.
Why?
Yeah, because Yeah, well, it's just the essence of being carefree. Just being carefree.
Right.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Very long now at school. They're not carefree. They've got SATs at age 7. They've got pressures to do well. They've got to play the violin.
Yeah.
I think I had more worries as a kid. I think that's like my childhood was some of the worst. There's nothing dark about it, but I was really, all your problems seem massive, and then you get to be a grown up and you look and you think, oh, none of it was really that bad.
Okay. I mean, but then you've got the context that you maybe don't have as a kid, so you have to be the adult kind of to know that it's not that bad.
I like being a big kid when I had a decent job with some dosh and relatively little responsibility in terms of a relationship and kids and so forth. I loved that, but I think the idea of not knowing what's in front of you was brilliant. Just that idea of surprise, which you don't get after a certain while.
So there's this kind of endless discovery, there's this kind of openness, this possibility that you don't, when you're an adult, maybe you don't have that. You kind of know what's going to happen.
Like that. Some kids don't like open-endedness. Some kids do. You probably did. Some kids are frightened by not knowing what's happening next.
Yeah.
Kids at school like routine and security. Some of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't always follow that, does it?
But it's the idea of being when you're a kid.
Hang on, let me bring these new punters in. Would you come on? Yes, you can. You can do it. We've got Johnny, we've got Anne Howard, we've got Joe, we've got Graham, I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about, is it better to be a kid or an adult? And would you go back to being a kid? That's what we're talking about now.
Would you skip forward to being an adult?
Would you fast forward to being an adult? Get rid of those child years.
No, the thing about the child years is, before you get it knocked out of you, there is a time as a kid when you believe that there's absolutely nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
And that's, I'd go back there tomorrow.
And you don't think that now?
No, no, not at all.
It's a bit late to be a child-style gymnast, that kind of thing. We don't have quite the possibilities that we did before.
Or flying a rocket or anything. I mean, something like that.
You don't think you could fly a rocket?
Not now, no.
Okay.
No.
Not in the future when rocket technology becomes more commonplace?
Not when there's beer in the world.
No. Okay, there's other priorities. Come and have a seat on the table chat. At the moment we are talking about, this is Talkaoke. We have got Graham, we've got Joe, we've got Anne Howard, we've got Johnny, I'm Mikey. What's your name?
Lewis.
Michael.
And we've gone a bit philosophical here. We're talking about, is it better to be an adult or a kid? And would you fast forward to adulthood? Come and join in. Or would the older people rewind to being a kid? What is better? Is it more? In a way, it's about not knowing. When you're younger, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know anything. You're discovering things that can be exciting, but also frightening. When you're an adult, it's a bit too fixed, and you know what you're going to do next year, this year. Come and join in. What are you doing next year? You probably know, you probably don't know. That's what we're talking about. So, would you fast forward a few years to when you've got a kind of stable job and you just kind of get rid of all the nonsense?
Yeah, probably.
You would?
Yeah, well, as we know, being an adult obviously isn't perfect. I pity the adults here. But I'm going to say, how being youth is now is so much different from how it was for the other people here.
Yeah.
So I think I would like to fast forward, not too far into the future, but at least a good couple of years.
Well, okay, yeah.
Well, social media was a whole firestorm, which I'm not even going to get started on.
Has that been good for young people or bad?
Well, it's been good in ways of connecting young people, but it's also been bad as in with social anxiety and issues like that.
I mean, you mentioned before that young people are more anxious now than they've ever been. And where's this anxiety come from? We have a guy called Crosby.
I have an appointment with my
Okay, hang on a second, Johnny. Let me get a final thought from you before you go. Johnny is the one that would, in a second, come and sit down. You don't have to say anything if you don't want. No, you don't sit down if you don't want to, but you don't have to say anything if you do want to sit down. Okay. Anyway, look, I'm just getting a final thought from Johnny. Then we're going to get around the names and we're going to take this a bit further. Final thought, Johnny.
Never stop being a kid.
Okay, so you don't actually stop being a kid. Okay, you still a kid?
Oh yes, and will remain so.
Okay, so never stop being a kid. But he's given up flying a rocket for a beer, which I think maybe, I don't know, I think maybe that's a bit sad. Anyway, so Anne Howard, Joe, Graham, what's your name?
Anna.
And
Richard.
And who have we got here?
Caroline.
Fraser.
What is it?
Fraser.
Fraser, yep.
Scarlett.
And
Carrie.
And what was it?
Michael.
Lewis. And come and sit down, come and get involved in this. At the moment we're talking about, there's this point that a few people have made now. Is it an anxious world for young people? Are young people too anxious? And what are you worried? Are you worried about anything, Fraser?
No.
Are you worried about anything, Scarlett? No, apart from talking on the mic. Are you worried about anything?
No.
No? Okay, so maybe it's not that anxious, but...
It is right. I'm worried that they're teaching them the phrases, so children are coming home and saying, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, not necessarily knowing what's behind it, but they're teaching them the phrases, they're teaching them to be anxious.
Right, okay, so there's a kind of...
Teachers' fault.
Is it, where's this... Are we living in an age of anxiety where somehow... I think we're... Are we living in an age of anxiety where somehow this anxiety is permeating through our world, and it's maybe through social media? Where's the anxiety coming from? What you brought up anxiety? Okay, on then.
I'll let my counterpart.
Yeah.
I know your counterpart.
Continue.
Yeah.
I think a large part is if you're older, I've noticed older people, he already said social media is a large part, but I think nowadays more than ever when you're young, everyone's self-conscious when they're young, but social media shows you what everybody else is doing all the time, and everybody has low moments, but everybody posts their highlights on social media, so you're constantly exposed to what other people are doing.
Okay, so it's this social media, you're always seeing what other people are doing and comparing. I guess you're comparing yourself on social media. Do people agree with that?
Okay, I'll stay here. I'll fight the point.
Yeah.
Question, sorry.
We're talking about social media, really. We're talking about, does that make us kind of compare ourselves a bit too much? You can join in on,
I'm not on social media
at all.
No.
Okay.
Well, beyond LinkedIn, that's it.
Okay, LinkedIn.
And I feel.
Can you explain what LinkedIn is to some of the younger people?
It is sort of a professional Facebook.
Facebook for jobs. It's kind of like professional Facebook.
Your CV online, basically.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
All right. So, do you compare yourself to other people on LinkedIn?
No.
Okay. So maybe LinkedIn is a social media that's not that. Social, for example. What do other people think about this idea? How do we escape this? Is it a problem that we're comparing ourselves on social media?
I compare myself.
No, you don't do it.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. She's a right braggy pants on Facebook.
Yeah. What kind of posts are we talking about?
Says her.
Okay.
I've been pictured with such and such famous person this week.
Okay, so some selfies with famous people.
I think all it is that it's all behaviour and feelings that existed already, and then social media exacerbates it. As a teenager, as a kid, we've always been comparing ourselves to each other and wondering what other people's were doing, but now you've got Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
It's kind of like a pressure cooker for that.
Build this profile.
Is social media a pressure cooker for some of these anxieties? It just, you can compare yourself to the person next door, but now you can compare yourself to someone across the world.
It can become addictive, I think, as well.
Yeah, okay.
People
are you
on it
addicted
constantly.
to social media, Graham?
No, not really social media, but I can't seem to put my phone down. Which is a bad thing.
Why are you? What are you looking at on your phone?
I'm constantly checking emails.
Okay.
Constantly,
Okay, is social media addictive? Are we addicted to social media? And what are we actually addicted to? You stalk people.
I love seeing what everybody else is up to. I'm alright.
Okay, so you stalk people on social media. Oh, are you addicted to social media? Okay, why not? What's the secret? Come and have a seat. Come and sit down.
Come on, Lindsay. Let's too long.
Come and have a seat. Come and get involved in this. So we've got
fear of loneliness.
But is that what's causing the addiction to social media or to phones?
to phones a little bit. The fear of boredom or loneliness, that it's something keeps you occupied.
We're continually wanting somebody to connect with. Is that what's going on with the phone?
I just like to read other people's shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. Cover your ears, kid.
Okay.
One more and you're out.
We'll wait till later on when the beers start flowing more. Anyway, so I guess we're...
It's fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out?
I don't have it, but people have fear of missing out.
Okay. Why? What's the secret to not having the fear of missing out?
I'm nearly 50, I don't really care.
So you've not missed out, so it
I've not missed out.
Okay.
So I've enjoyed my life without social media.
Is it kind of, I mean, we started off this conversation because we were talking, first of all we were talking about, is it better to be a kid or is it better to be an adult? And a lot of people said, the old people said it's better.
Kids. No worries, no stress.
Yeah, but you say that, but there are worries and stress to being a kid. And this is why we started talking about the social media, because that is a pressure cooker for the world.
She doesn't even have social media. No worries, no cares.
You don't? No? Okay. But yeah, so that's the question. We are living in an age of anxiety. So perhaps the secret to not being anxious is to just be older.
Turn your phone off.
Okay, turn your phone off. Okay. Does anyone here turn their phone off regularly? Oh, you're taking a photo. You can hashtag Talkaoke. What's that?
I think it's good to be a kid, and I think I'd like to be an adult just now, but I think there's a wee awkward age between maybe 15 and 17 where, like for example, I know this time next year I could be in college, I could be at university, I could be in a job, I've got no idea. So I think when you're coming to the end of being a kid but you're not quite an adult.
So that's that kind of transition phase that you don't know.
That's just the worst stage.
Okay. So there's that anxiety of the transition where you don't know what's going to come next. You don't know how it's going to go. You don't know.
I think young people feel pressures of life and they understand a little bit, but so being a kid's fine whatever generation, but I think being a young person
once you're over the age of about 11 or 12, that's when it starts to get a bit more.
Is that when you slip into the deep valley of anxiety?
I don't know, we've got a person.
How old are you?
11.
11? Do you feel anxious?
No.
No? Are you about to slip into the valley of anxiety?
Maybe.
Can you see it ahead of you? Can you see older people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, we started going back even further. We started off this whole conversation because we were talking about this idea of having to make decisions in your life, and young people having to make decisions, and then being kind of stuck by those decisions. Do you feel you're kind of like? Do you feel sort of?
Find my kids in the bubble shop.
Okay. Okay, come back. We're here all evening. Do you feel like under pressure to make decisions at school and what school you go to and stuff like that?
I feel like I've got to kind of like fit in, and if I don't fit in, I feel a bit like worried what's going to happen.
In what kind of sense?
Like I've got to have the latest things. I've got to fit in, like have everybody else's.
Okay, so it's more about what things you've got and fitting in socially. What are some of the latest things?
New phones, new stationery.
Okay. You've got to have the right stationery. Okay. Surely the phone should be taken over from the stationery, shouldn't it? I don't know. Where are we going to go with this conversation? Fitting in, yeah.
That's a good subject.
Okay.
Is whether it's better to fit in, because I feel like as a kid, I wanted to fit in, and then when everyone got older, then everyone wants to be the cool one, the one that stands out. Okay, so fitting in is kind of a thing, and then at some point you don't worry about fitting in. Is that true? Do you worry about fitting in? Do you worry about fitting in?
Well, I think that's related to the Facebook thing. It's all about being part of the crowd and everyone doing the same thing and everyone trying to be. I mean, I set myself a goal of not posted at all on Facebook this year.
Yeah.
And I got to about June.
Yeah.
And the only reason I actually went back on it is because Facebook's got quite a nice feature where it brings up memories.
Right.
And so it'll say this time last year and today they've all popped up of being here 5 years ago when she's really tiny, and then you just think, and now I can't come off it, and it's you're trapped in it. But Facebook's about fitting in.
Okay. So so once again the social media fitting in. Do you feel a pressure to fit in or to stand out, or a bit of both maybe in this?
everyone wants to have an identity, and your identity can either be you're in with people or you stand out. But I don't think there's anybody who isn't self-conscious about how they're perceived. Like, everyone portrays it in different ways, but every single person does worry to some degree.
So it's about your identity. How does my identity fit together? Is it about being the same as people, being different as people?
Well, even if people who are different want to fit in.
They're comparing themselves.
Well, no, they want to fit in with a gang of people who are all different. They still want to belong to the different gang, don't they? They still want to belong.
They want to be accepted for being different.
Okay.
So I'm different, but people like me because I'm different.
Right.
So it's not that. Yeah, they don't want to be disliked for it. They want to.
Okay.
So it's fitting in for being different.
Okay, fitting in for being different. Okay. Okay, and Howard, final thought.
That was fab, thanks. I'm fitting out.
Is this too conformist now? This. Have you got like a group of like non-fitting in people that you have to fit in with?
Yes, exactly. I've got to get weirder and weirder every year to carry on being accepted by them.
Are you the weirdest person you know, or the least weird person?
Oh, that's okay. I think I'm the least weird person I know, actually.
Okay,
right, and I'm at risk of being kicked out of that friendship group for not being weird enough.
Well,
which is why I've got to go.
Well, okay. Well, maybe we can come up with some suggestions on how to get weirder around the table. And this is pretty. Okay, I mean, we will be going on into the evening, and as I said, the beers will flow, and who knows where the conversation will go then. Okay, so where are we going to take this conversation? I mean, we're talking about social media. I mean, it is a thing. Is it deliberately designed to be addictive to, you tried to stay off of it, but then you just got enticed by the memories? Is that kind of manipulative in a way?
I don't feel manipulated. I'm kind of, I guess I'm slightly addicted to it, but I dip in. I don't post. I just like watching.
Okay. Okay, you're a watcher, not a poster. Are you a poster or a watcher when it comes to social media? You're a poster, yeah? What sort of things do you post about? What sort of things do you post about?
My new outfits.
Okay. Okay, we'll have to. Are you on Instagram? We'll have to check you out. Anyway, we'll see you later on. It's another rubbish comment. No, it's a good comment, but he's from the rubbish. It's the rubbish man. Anyway, okay, so it's kind of addictive, but it's kind of, in a way, I suppose, compared to heroin, or it's not that bad an addiction.
Right, so ask the question, everybody who's got Facebook here, who checks every day?
Okay, hands up if you check every day on Facebook. Okay, every hour? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, is it an addiction, but it's an okay addiction compared to heroin?
Well, I think comparing it to heroin, it's going to be much better. I think comparing anything to heroin, you're going to find it's going to be better.
Yeah.
But
I've already got that one for her, yeah.
Right, check. Okay, it's good in an okay amount.
Yeah.
You don't want to be going too deep down the rabbit hole of social media and the internet and all that. Just checking it for 30 minutes.
But how do you know when you've gone too deep? How do you know when you've been sucked in too far down the rabbit hole?
Well, when you're on it every waking second, when you hear a notification and you're on it, like...
Yeah.
I've not moved seats, I've stayed in the same.
Yeah.
If you're so into it that whenever a little sound goes off on your phone, you're waking up to look at it, well then I think that there is a problem and it needs to be addressed.
Okay, so maybe if you're waking up to check your Facebook or check other social media applications are out there, then maybe you're a bit too addicted. This is Talkaoke, pop-up talk show at the moment where we were kind of talking about Donald Trump, but I guess there's the ebb and flow of Talkaoke. Where do we want to go? Do you want to still carry on talking about Donald Trump? Do you want to move on to another subject?
Moving on, yeah. But what topic to?
Like new schools, new starts and beginnings.
Okay, well, we were kind of talking about that a little bit earlier on. Earlier on we were talking about the pressure. Is there a pressure? Is it exciting? Are you about to move to a new school?
Yeah.
Are you a little bit nervous about it? Are you kind of expectant about it? What's your feeling?
Well, I know all of my class are moving into it, so I'm not like entirely nervous to make new friends. Because we had a transition day and all the new girls came in.
So you kind of feel you know a little bit about it already. Okay. Any thoughts, Richard?
Well, looking forward to her going up. I think she's going to go from a junior school to a senior school, and that is going to, I'm afraid, make her grow up a lot, but in good ways. So she's going to be able to walk to school and other things. So more independence, but equally more of the pressure and pressure for a phone and things like that.
Okay, yeah, because we were talking about that a little bit. I mean, is there more pressure, do you think, to fit in, especially when you first arrive there and you're trying to sort of make your mark in the new school? Do you think you'll be a little bit kind of, wanting to show your best side?
Yeah, if I don't have something, everybody else, it'll be like a bit trying to like tell a lie, and it'll grow into more of a lie as time goes by if I don't have it.
Right, I see. So if you don't have it, what you're going to try and... Hello, come and take a seat. This is Talkaoke. What are you doing? If we talk about your ice cream store, can we get free ice cream? Okay. What's it called? Primal? It sounds a bit primeval. Okay. Where do we want to go with this conversation? Do we want to talk about free ice cream? I guess we could also bring that in with jobs of the future. Could you be an ice cream promoter? Will that be a job of the future? Would you like to do that?
Maybe just to make money so I can go to university. Not as a full-time job, though.
Okay, so it's a kind of part-time job. Okay. Yeah.
Getting a job to pay your way through uni, definitely.
Okay.
I washed pots when I was.
What did you do when?
My first job was washing pots.
Okay, and what did you do at university?
I did a geography degree, which qualified me for nothing.
Well, you're talking to a fine art graduate here, so welcome to the club. Where do you see yourself going, Anna?
I'll probably want to be like a sports person. Or like a TV star.
Okay. What sort of TV star?
I'll probably want to do like my own show. But I'll probably start on other people's shows.
Okay. I mean, what do you think about this conjecture that we had a bit earlier on, where people were saying it's not worth being famous for being famous. You've got to be famous for something. As a TV star, do you think you'd be what would you be famous for?
Well, if I think that like it just falls into place and you become famous, you can't help it. So, yeah.
And what about the glare of the spotlight? What about the fact that everyone will be looking at your every move?
I don't think I would find it too overbearing, to be fair.
Hello, come and take a seat on the table of chat. Maybe on the way back, we'll still be here. I feel like we're a little bit. We need some more warmth around the table. We kind of had a flow, and now we've got an ebb, and now we need a flow again. So we're talking about being. Have you ever wanted to be famous, Richard?
I can't say I have, to be honest. When I was young, I went to school with Michael Vaughan, who's become the England cricket captain.
Right.
And he had a desire and a real passion, and it created fame, but it was through a talent. So again,
what was he like as a?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was. Very committed to his cricket, and it had talent, and ultimately that's what took him into the public domain. It wasn't a pursuit of fame for its own sake.
I don't know. I guess in a way, cricketers are kind of treated differently by the media than footballers.
It's less famous, definitely. Yeah.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Do you know any famous people? Would you like to? Hello. Oh, thank you. Hello, come and have a seat. This is Talkaoke at the moment. We're sort of talking about fame, whether it's worth being famous, and whether, if you're going to be famous, will you be famous for doing something or just famous for being famous? Anna wants to be a TV star, and Richard used to know Michael Vaughan at school, the cricketer, who was a good guy apparently at school. Come and have a seat. Come and join in. Have you ever wanted to be famous? Not that you will be here, because as I mentioned before, this is going on YouTube, but generally we only get about 7 or 8 views from the people that have been on the show already. Anyway, we've got Richard, we've got Anna. What's your name?
Stephen.
And
Maxwell.
And I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about, would you like to be famous, Maxwell?
Sort of.
Yeah, what would you like to be famous as?
A flautist.
A what?
A flautist.
A flautist?
A flautist, a person who plays the flute.
Yeah. A flautist?
A flautist.
A flautist? You don't say flautist?
No.
Okay, it's a flautist.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you play the flute already?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Your chances.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good start. It's a good start. Would you like to be famous, Steve?
I already am. If you're only getting 7 views, I get many more.
Okay, how many views do you get?
Oh, 4,500. Yeah.
4,500. Okay, what's your channel? Come and have a seat. We're talking about being famous. Do you want to be famous? What is it actually a curse to be famous? Because then, say for example, you've just been to the loo. If you are famous, people with camera phones will be following you in.
If you're not famous, you might get that though.
Yeah, you might get that even if you're not famous. Okay, so we have got Richard, we've got Anna, we've got Stephen, we've got Maxwell. What's your name?
Justin.
And
Chloe.
And
Zara.
What's it?
Zara.
Zara.
Austin.
Austin and Mikey. At the moment we're talking about being famous. Is it worthwhile being famous? Is it kind of like a mixed blessing in a way because you're in the spotlight? Steve's kind of already famous, and you can tell that by the way he's just casually giving his wallet away. He must have. So tell us about your YouTube channel.
It's one for teaching.
Okay, so you kind of throw teaching skills out there to
lessons that students can watch.
All right, so you throw lessons out there what sort of lessons do you do online?
Just business lessons.
Okay, amazing. Okay, and is that it's not?
No, but it means that often, rather than having to repeat the same thing over and over again, you say go and watch it on YouTube.
Okay, so if people are not paying attention, you just say have a look on YouTube, and then you don't have to do the lesson all over again. I mean, could you just record all of your lessons on YouTube?
The teaching future.
Yeah, is that the future? I mean, what do you think about that?
Not turning up to work.
No, you are
teacher of any subject, just one teacher in the entire country, the best teacher of that. So one English teacher, one maths teacher, one science teacher, and everyone just watches that.
What do people think about that? I mean, it kind of fits in with the fame discussion, but why have all these? We've had a lot of teachers on the table. They're not all as good as each other. But why not just get the very best teacher to teach everyone via YouTube? Would that work better? Would you rather have a super teacher than an ordinary teacher?
Yes.
Yes, Zara?
Super teacher.
Super teacher, okay.
Would you rather have a teacher on the screen or a teacher in your classroom?
Teacher in classroom. Teacher in classroom.
Okay, so there's a problem here. I can see, but could technology fill the gap? Could you have a holographic Steve in the classroom?
Well, the thing is, why do you even need the classroom? Why are we wasting money on buildings and facilities when parents can look after the kids and just watch the videos at home?
I mean, okay, where I'm from, we've got a lot of schools that have been turned into flats and other more useful things. Are schools going to be a thing of the past when this kind of YouTube or virtual teaching comes?
I'm not sure our broadband is good enough to get you to be educated.
That's a very good point, actually, because when I was trying to watch the World Cup last week, the thing just broke down. It broke the internet. So could we do it? Have we got the broadband to have schools online? Come on, would you like to be famous? That's what we're talking. You're not going to be famous here. That's what we're talking about. Will we have super teachers? And will those actually, if those teachers are teaching the entire population, will they become, in a way, celebrities as well?
Depends if it's on telly or on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think?
Do you know any famous teachers?
Okay, famous teachers. Are there any? Who's the most famous teacher out there? Any famous teachers? I mean, could teachers be celebrities? Could they sort of you know, if you just get the very best ones.
Mr. Bronson off Grange Hill, one for the kids.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Mr. Bronson? No? Can you explain who Mr. Bronson is?
I think he was the bad headmaster in a kids' TV programme when I was a child.
Are there any school programmes on TV? Any programmes about school on TV these days? Do you watch TV?
Yes.
Have you seen any programmes about schools?
No.
No? Anyone? Have you seen any programs? Is there any school programmes out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is there?
Charlotte watches. Yeah, the comedy one. Yeah.
Was it a big one?
Yeah.
No, the one where the teachers, like the drama teacher and all that. What a ridiculous.
I've forgotten.
No, it's not so. Well, so awkward. This is one about school. But there's another one where like.
Well, the teacher's the absolute dim.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a teacher. Do you think that teachers are represented well in the media? It seems like they're not, really.
Awfully. Terribly.
Yeah. Why is it? Why do you think that is?
I think teachers. People don't realise what teachers do.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. I mean, earlier on today, actually, we had a discussion. It was actually about social media and about anxiety and young people being anxious. You were there, I think. And some people were sitting around this side of the table and they're saying, teachers, it's the teachers that are projecting their anxiety onto the kids. They're projecting the fear of social media. And there was another person sitting over here who was a teacher, and she was like, no, actually we're not. But do you think teachers get a bad rap? Do they get a bad rap, or do they kind of deserve it, Steve?
Teachers definitely do not deserve the bad rap.
Yeah. Where does it come from, this kind of notion that, you know, people want to kind of somehow blame teachers for stuff?
I think because teachers are given the world to solve, so I've got to tackle obesity, I've got to tackle abuse on social media, I have to tackle poor behaviour in the community, and I can't do it all, so when I don't do it all, I'm not doing my job properly, plus I get 13 weeks holiday a year, which people decry.
Okay, so they're a bit jealous of the holiday thing, but also, in a way, what you're really saying is all the society's problems get blamed on the teacher. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, do you agree with that? Yeah, okay. You can, if you don't know, then just say I don't know.
Yes.
You think so? Okay. What do you think? Do you think we kind of blame teachers, or have we given them too much to do in a way?
No, they have got a lot to do.
Yeah.
But they're paid to do it.
You think they're paid to do it?
Yeah, and you dream of being a teacher because you know it's going to be hard work.
Okay. Do you dream of being a teacher?
No.
What about a television teacher?
No.
Where you're teaching? No. Okay. So you don't want to be a teacher, but you think those teachers know what they're getting into. They know they're getting into a hard, tough job, so they can't complain once they're in it. Yeah. Okay. Do you agree with that?
No.
Do you think you're getting into an easy job?
I didn't realise how difficult it was going to be.
Okay. Okay, interesting.
I suspect it's easier to blame teachers than the parents to perhaps reflect on what they're contributing.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a convenient target.
Yeah, are you blaming the parents more?
Well, no, I think it's all my fault. No, I think parents set the tone, and if they don't set it right, the teachers just pick up the pieces when 30 of the people land in the class at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, I mean, are we giving teachers too much to do? And if so, could some of these lessons being on TV or on YouTube actually help lower the caseload a little? I mean, you've kind of done it yourself by recording your own lessons, but I mean, is that going to maybe help kind of lower the teachers' caseloads a little bit? We're talking about teachers. We've got a teacher over here. Are we putting too much on their plate? And if so, should we get some automatic super teachers in to lower their caseload a little bit?
Too much on their plate. What about the family's plate?
Okay, so you don't think so? You think okay?
You never see him.
Okay, what? Because he's too busy teaching?
Yeah.
He's on YouTube. That's
okay.
Can I ask you a question? Is this going live on YouTube?
It's not going live on YouTube, but we are going to put it on YouTube. However, we're not going to put it on a little bit before because it's kind of up to you, but it's your footage. So if you want it to go on YouTube, we'll put it on. If you don't,
Scarlett's just got a bit upset about it.
if you don't want it to go on YouTube, we won't put it. It's kind of up to you.
Thank you.
So anyway, where are we going with this? What do we want to talk about? Are you worried for the younger generation? Are you worried that there won't be the teaching for them, or do you think the teaching is only going to get better with YouTube? What do you think? Do you enjoy going to school?
Yes.
Okay. Do you enjoy going to school?
A bit. It can be a bit boring when you're doing tests.
Okay. All right. Did you enjoy? I'm taking you've left school now.
I finished school now. Just.
Did you enjoy going to school?
I love school. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Back with happy memories.
Enjoy school?
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
No, I really dislike school.
You dislike it? Why?
Because I don't like school.
Could it be better?
Yeah.
Okay. How?
If the teachers were idiots.
If the teachers will.
If my actual school could acknowledge that people had different opinions.
Okay, so they're not kind of embracing the different opinions of people. Okay.
We sent because we were a bit annoyed with school, we sent a letter into them, and they didn't even
Okay.
We don't even think they read it.
Okay.
And they didn't even change it.
Okay.
No, Mum wrote it.
It's all important.
Okay, so maybe teachers could, and this is education in general, are we kind of embracing the difference of kids and their different views? Come and have a seat on the table of chat. That's you. Yes, you can bring your beer and you can. Okay, well we can talk about that. Is it down to bad education? That's what we're talking about now, having a bit of an education discussion. We've got Steve, who's a super teacher, on the table. He's on YouTube. He gets thousands of hits on YouTube. And we're talking about teachers. What's your name?
Joe.
And?
Wendy.
Wendy, welcome. Anna, what are you going to say?
When you wake up, you don't automatically think, oh, I want to go to school, but it's better going to school than not going to school, because then, you won't have a job and you won't...
Okay, so you're going to school more for the future, for getting a job in the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, it's better going to school at, an actual school than being homeschooled, because then it doesn't make you antisocial, but it means you don't have a lot of friends compared to...
Okay, so you don't get many friends if you don't go to school. What do you think of school? Do you like school? Come and tell us about it. We've got... You like school, you like school, you liked school, you like school, you don't like school, you don't like school. Okay, what would make school nicer for you?
Less work.
Okay, so it goes back to the thing. Do you think that you were saying earlier that there's too much really on your plate as a teacher?
Yeah.
I mean, do you need helpers? Do you need more people? What would that ease the situation?
School needs more money. It needs more people in the actual school teaching. I don't need more money. I'm fine.
Yeah, but actually, we need more brains on the job, more bodies there to do all the different things.
Less expectations.
Okay.
I don't think league tables are positive for kids.
Yeah. So the expectations have got to go down, or the number of people's got to go up. We're talking about school. What do you think of school? Did you like school? Is school getting better? Is it getting are we getting our expectations too high? Wendy, have you got any views on this? I'm not ignoring you. I was just sort of drumming up the conversation on this side. Did you like school when you were at school?
Yeah, I did like school, but it was a long time ago. And I went to an all-girls school, so we didn't kind of mix with the boys.
Is that a good idea?
I quite liked it, but I don't think it's a good idea now. I think my kids have had a better experience going to a mixed school.
Okay.
So I went to the boys' school, and we didn't meet till we were 17.
Okay. Could you have met earlier if you went to a mixed school?
Yeah, but we might not still be together now.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to get my head around that. What do you think about this idea about, do the expectations need to drop to the number of people? Is there anyone here that's willing to sort of lend a hand to these overloaded teachers?
No, but I think they should stop the homework.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, you agree with that? Yeah. Why do you think they should stop the homework?
Because it's way too difficult, and it's not really making us learn anything. Lessons are for learning, not homework.
Okay, so
homework doesn't really help you.
Okay, homework doesn't help you. Steve, the super teacher, agrees there should be less homework. And what do people think about homework? Do you do homework?
Yes.
You do? Do you think you should be doing homework?
No.
Okay. Do you do homework?
Yeah.
Do you think you should be doing homework?
No.
Okay. Do you do homework?
Yeah.
Do you think you should be doing homework?
Sort of.
So you think you should be doing it? Yeah.
Not really.
You're not sure? Okay, yeah. What's the question?
I would like to ask this participant what you would do if you didn't have any homework. What would you do instead?
Okay. Well, actually, let's just get your name again. What's your name?
Austin.
Austin, that's right, yeah. What would you do if you didn't do homework?
Watch telly. Watch telly.
Yeah, okay, watch telly is the answer. This is Talkaoke. Come and take a seat if you want to. We're talking about schools and homework. Are we overloading the teachers? Are we overloading the kids? There seems to be a bit of a consensus around the table that homework is kind of a bit of...
They've both said they don't like homework and it's rubbish. They love homework. They really enjoy doing it. They do it on their own. They love
Controversial.
it. I think they're playing for the audience here. They both enjoy it a lot.
Okay.
Future. Please tell the truth.
Okay, alright. Yeah, the thing about Talkaoke is you can say whatever you want to say. That's the great thing about it. We've got a new face to say. What's your name?
Dave.
What's it?
Dave.
Dave. And then we're talking about, we've got Steve, who's a super teacher, and he's saying basically too much homework. Everyone's overloaded in the school system, and yet we're doing loads of homework.
I think we always wish we could not do homework, but once we don't have homework, we're just a bit like, what should I do?
Okay.
So because you overload with yourself with
Fortnite instead. So
so
I'd rather homework than Fortnite.
Okay, so you've got Fortnite, television. They're the options rather than homework. So is the reason why homework gets imposed the fact that their kids have got nothing better to do? And if they had better stuff to do, then they wouldn't have to do homework. I've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Charlie.
Charlie, what do you think about homework? Should kids have to do homework? Does it stop them just from watching television, playing Fortnite? Is it a waste of time?
I think that it stops children playing out and being children. I think Fortnite and playing on computers isn't what children should be doing. They should be outside and living life.
Okay.
Not staying in and living an artificial life.
Okay, I'm just going to go. Is Fortnite in a way not really living your life, but living on a computer?
No.
Okay. You would argue you are living your life playing Fortnite?
No.
No. Okay. So neither. Okay. What do people think?
I don't think we had homework at their age.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what do you think about this? So, what's your name?
Charlie.
What do you think? Charlie's idea that kids should be outside more. I mean, do you agree with that? Do you think you need to be outside more?
Yes.
Okay. Outside more?
No.
No? Do you think...
Yeah, absolutely, they should be.
Yeah, okay. I mean, what do you think about this outside... Okay, give us a final thought before you go.
About what?
Well, about anything. About, I mean, this idea about being... Charlie's idea is kind of, it's kind of like, okay, maybe rather than doing homework, you could be outside experiencing... I don't know, nature or something? What are you experiencing outside?
Everything's why we're here.
Okay.
So our children can experience more than what's inside. Music, activities.
Do you think we should be doing a bit more of that rather than staying indoors?
Well, I think you can't really be a kid again, but then you should be able to do what you want. And if you want to play inside, you can play inside. If you want to go outside, then good for you.
Okay. So why are so many kids choosing to stay inside?
Because it probably entertains them more.
Okay. Final thought, Richard?
Well, when I was a kid, after school there was loads of stuff to do in like sports clubs and stuff, and I think probably now the teachers who might want to do it are laden with marking, so they can't do it. So actually the kids have to go home and the parents are either working or not able to kind of play with them. So yeah, we're stuck in a worse position than we were a generation ago.
Okay, so those...
Not the homework, they have to mark the homework.
Okay, so stop the homework, stop all the demands on teachers so they can go and do trips with the kids and go out into nature and stuff like that. That's what basically the message. Thanks very much for getting involved. We're here all weekend, so do come back. We'll be talking about something else, I'm sure. Dave, have you got any views on any of this? You've not said anything yet? Don't have to.
Just listening.
Okay.
No, that's good. So it's homework we're talking about.
Well, kind of talking about, I mean, in a way, this all started up, well, I'm not going to go all the way back because...
we're going to sound goodbyes. We've been
give us
bar.
Give us a final thought.
Less school, more bar.
More bar?
More bar.
Okay.
We're raising the bar.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, do you think that there should be sort of schooling for how to be at the bar? for children, like a sort of like a soft drink bar?
I practice daily.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be bar lessons at school, you know. Yeah, you were.
I was taken to the pub when I was 16 by my Uncle Tommy and my dad and taught the etiquette of being in a bar.
Really? Okay, so that is possible.
Have you got a YouTube of that?
Maybe there should be a YouTube.
Because these two could do with watching that.
Okay, final thoughts?
Most popular video.
Okay, I mean, I think that's a great idea for a YouTube video. How to, you know, etiquette, social etiquette at the bar. Okay, any final thoughts, Austin? Final thought? Have you enjoyed being on the show?
Yes.
What's been the best comment that's been made?
No school.
You like the no school comment? Okay, I'm going to take that as. Have you got a final thought? No. Okay.
Anything's all right.
Final thought?
I'm the same as well.
Okay, well, as I said, we're here all weekend, thanks. So where do we go with this conversation? Do we keep talking about the school thing? We move on, come and sit down, come and get involved in this. This is Talkaoke. We have got Charlie, we've got Wendy, we've got Joe? And we've got Dave, and we've got Maxwell and Steve, and maybe this person. Are you going to come and get involved in this? Maybe not. This is Talkaoke, my name's Mikey. Where do we want to take this conversation? Charlie, you sort of flicked your hand as if you had something to say, or was that just a random gesture?
Random, too much cider gesture.
Too much cider, okay.
Too much cider gesture.
Where do we want to take this conversation? Anybody? Somebody give me something. Somebody, because...
Bringing your kids to festivals.
Yeah.
Let's forget about homework.
Is it kind of education in itself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so this is our 8th year here.
Yeah.
And so my daughter's now 14, but this is where we bought her so that we could let her go.
Yeah.
We'll give her freedom, because you can't give kids the freedom that we think we had when we were kids.
So
why can't you though?
Because
media.
we're completely
all
risk averse.
Yeah, we're definitely risk averse. You
Okay, so we're too worried about risks.
Yeah.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. Don't worry that you're not taking a risk. You're getting a brownie. Okay. Anyway, at the moment we are talking about, is this if this festival for kids, a kind of school of festival, is it a kind of educational service in a way, where we're teaching kids like loads of different things? What's that?
It's my husband, he's calling.
Oh. Hello, we're at Talkaoke. I don't know, Arena 3 next to Bookends. Come along, we're talking about School of Festival. Hello Seb, I'm Mikey. We've got
down here.
Yeah, we've got Charlie, we have got Wendy, we have got Joe, we've got Dave, we've got Maxwell, we've got Steve, I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about the School of Festival.
And said remotely.
Yeah, and we're talking. Yeah, it's gone now. It's gone. It's like, it's like, no, I don't fancy that.
My drunken wife.
I don't.
Right, she's found a home. She's fine.
Yeah, I don't fancy that. I think was a message there. Okay, so where do we want to go? Do you think that's a good idea? Festival, school? How would it work? Could
like coming to the festival.
Is it an educational experience for you?
Well, if outdoors counts as school, I would rather prefer going outdoors.
Okay. I mean, do you learn things when you're at the festival?
You've come for a long time.
Well, you can learn new stuff because there's a lot more clubs than in school.
Okay, so they can learn. You can actually learn stuff. I mean,
I think you get to hang out with different people, see different things. Whereas when you go on the internet, you look for things that you're already into, and you find a like-minded circle of people. You never get challenged. You never stretch. You never, you get involved in that little world, and it can breed extremism. It's not good.
So you're actually learning about different people as well.
You have to get along with a whole range of different people, and you get socialised. It's really good.
Okay. Okay, so you're learning. Do you think you're learning about people here?
Well, you can learn different things about people. Plus, you can learn how, to survive in the wild and.
Okay. Have you learned that this weekend?
Not the wild.
Well, you can outdoors. You say that.
Yeah.
Outdoors.
Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkaoke. What we're talking about right now is actually, are you learning stuff at this festival, and is it better in a way than school for learning stuff? Because you're learning different things about people and about how to survive in the wild and stuff like that. So we've got Steve, we've got Maxwell, we've got Dave, we've got Joe, we've got Wendy and Charlie. What's your name?
Alex.
And
Daniel.
And I'm Mikey. Do you think you're learning stuff here, Daniel? Do you think you actually...
We're learning a few things. The Wilder Wild exhibit for, just up there.
What's that?
It's as part of the festival that's set up to teach kids how to carve stuff out of wood or
so you are actually,
work with stones.
You're actually learning how to survive in the wild. Did you know about this?
No.
Okay, maybe you should go up there because they're actually learning about stuff.
Because in order to survive in the wild, you need cider.
Right. Okay.
And I've run out.
Okay. Do you know how to make your own cider?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to buy a pear tree.
Okay.
And make pear cider.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can learn these skills here at Deer Shed. We're talking about.
What was your experience in school?
My experience? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know what? I kind of agree with a lot of the conjecture here. I personally think you learn more when you have fun and when you're in new situations. I think kind of school, you know, I know it's not your thing, Steve, but I do think kind of school is kind of less of an educational institution than just a sort of young people's storage system that keeps them away from, you know, causing trouble and doing harm and keeps them safe. And, you know, actually if they were just kind of like left to roam the streets, yeah, for sure we'd lose quite a few of them, but they would probably learn more.
Steve's a teacher.
What's that?
Is Steve a teacher?
Steve is a teacher.
Is it a high school or a primary school?
High school, yeah.
When the free childcare kicks in at age 5, that's great.
Yeah. I mean, it is a kind of like, it's more about the childcare, I think, than the. But anyway, it's not, one of the things about Talkaoke is it's not really about my opinion, and I'm only really give it if I'm really sort of pushed into it, as Dave just did me there.
It's good to know. It's good.
Yeah.
What subject is it in the high school?
At the moment, business studies, but I've taught psychology, religious education. Once you're a teacher, you can teach anything.
Yeah.
That's the way it works.
Apart from when the government monkeys around with the policy every couple of weeks and just ruins and changes course every few months.
Is that do you feel that the government is meddling too much?
Absolutely.
In education?
Yeah, not just this year, but probably for about the last 20 years, really.
Okay.
Just changes direction constantly.
What do you think about this? Do you enjoy school? Do you think the government meddles too much?
I think it's kind of like a mindset.
Yeah.
It's like a mindset. If school, some kids are kind of like, oh, it's school, I don't like it. But if you're out here, you're not knowing that you're learning sometimes.
Okay.
And then.
So in a way, it's a bit like going to sleep. If you don't know you're doing it, it's much easier.
Yeah.
And maybe learning's the same thing. That if you don't know you're doing it, come and sit down, come and get involved in this. Let's give Ruby a big round of applause. She's our camerawoman for today. But it's a festival. So Ruby, we have got Steve, we've got Maxwell, we've got Ruby, we've got Daniel and Alex and Dave and Joe and Wendy. But hang on, give me a final thought before you go. It could be about anything, and maybe it'll inject some new life and new direction into the conversation.
I think academy schools are a terrible idea.
Why?
Because they're just set free and set loose to go and pillage the reserves of schools, and they're not under any overall control of anybody. And when they take all the money, they close down and they move on to scoop the profit out of the next thing. I think absolutely disgusting.
Okay. All right, controversial.
Get off
Final thought, Wendy?
Oh, I don't know.
It doesn't have to be about. It could be about anything. It could be about the festival. It could be about just life in general.
Should McDonald's be allowed? Should McDonald's be allowed to sponsor sports events?
Okay. What do you mean, like school sports?
I mean, like the World Cup.
Sports. World Cup and stuff like that. Okay.
Tobacco companies in Formula 1.
Okay.
I know they can't because
McDonald's still can.
Yes.
Okay.
Can it be called health washing?
Is it health washing? Okay. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I think the likes of McDonald's shouldn't be allowed anywhere near sport.
Okay. What do you think about McDonald's and sports? Should they be allowed to sponsor sports?
I don't know. I think they kind of both benefit off it. So why would they stop doing it?
Okay. So I mean, I think your point more is that they shouldn't be allowed to do it, isn't it?
It's that whole thing of
a company who sells unhealthy items, who sells unhealthy food, latches on to a healthy activity, a healthy sport, to give them a healthy image.
Right.
Whereas companies here who are actively healthy don't need to do that.
Okay, so
but children
what would be a good company to sponsor the World Cup, or a healthy company? What's a good
company like McDonald's?
Okay,
that's the problem. The problem is you can't have the World Cup without Coca-Cola, McDonald's, who are more than happy to pour millions in it because they want the healthy image. Whereas innocent fruit pots, they don't need the healthy image, so they've not got the bank.
So could Innocent sponsor the World Cup, and would that?
What's interesting about that, I suppose, what you're saying is, I suppose the first 2 or 3 World Cups, who sponsored them? I don't know the answer, but I'm sure it wasn't.
Okay.
You know,
we can look it up on Wikipedia.
Yeah, how did they work? How did they run?
Okay. Does the World Cup even need sponsorship? That's what I guess is the point there. What do people think?
The problem with many sporting events, particularly the Olympics, is the amount of money that costs to run these events without huge sponsors like Visa. McDonald's sponsor every Olympics, and they provide the food in the athletes' village. And most athletes will only ever have one burger in a 4-year cycle, and it'll be the one that they have at the end of the Olympics. And McDonald's want them to be pictured eating that burger so that people will think this is a healthy food. It's not. McDonald's used to give away a black card to all Leeds Rhinos players, and so they could get a free Big Mac meal or free meal every single day. But they knew full well that the Leeds Rhinos players could never use them, and so what used to happen was that just once maybe in the off season these guys would access this card, but they'd be seen,
and then the cameras would come
and people would know that oh my god, such and such can still play rugby, be 16 stone of rippling muscle, and he eats McDonald's. Well, no, once a year he eats McDonald's, but
okay. Okay, I mean, but I guess you're teaching business studies. From a business perspective, is there a better way to do it? How can you fit in the interests of business with the interests of health?
It depends whether the interests of business should come before anything else. Is the interest of business the paramount importance of our society, or is it the interests of the people?
What do you think, Daniel, Alex? What do you think? Business? Are we run by business here, and should we be?
If they're going to get sponsored and they need money, obviously FIFA's going to, do a lot of the payment for the World Cup, but they have to get sponsors. Could they not get some of the countries to help pay as well?
Okay, so could the countries themselves pay for it rather than does it have to be sponsored? I think that's your point as well, isn't it, Dave?
I don't think any of the countries would have enough money spare to put into the World Cup. They're too busy making more nuclear weapons.
Okay.
Way too busy doing that.
Okay, which countries are making nuclear weapons?
Do you really want me to list them all?
Well, just give us a smattering.
The United States, I am pretty sure. The UK.
Okay, give us a final thought before you go, Maxwell. Is there anything you've heard that has been? Is that whose water is that? Is there anything you've said you've heard? Sorry, that you've thought was an interesting comment.
Daniel's just right there.
What's that?
Daniel's one that is just...
Okay, the thing about the nuclear weapons and are we spending money on the right things? It's not just about sport and McDonald's and football, but actually about what countries are spending money on. Maybe they should be spending money on sport rather than nuclear weapons. But does that mean that McDonald's will then sponsor the nuclear weapons? How would it work? Anything else? Is that your final thought?
Yeah.
Okay. So
reduce the cost of football a bit by paying the players a little bit less.
Okay, so you think football could cost less?
I think it could
We were
cost
talking
less.
about this earlier on, actually. Perhaps football could cost less.
I think you could get away with not paying £200 million for a player.
Okay, so
I think you could get away with that, and the money could go back.
Okay, so maybe it doesn't have to cost that much.
I don't doubt then. What are we talking about?
We're talking about Ruby's. I mean, it comes from Daniel's point that our country's spending money on the right things, and we can investigate this a bit more because Daniel's saying actually countries like the United States, we didn't really get a chance to mention anymore. I'm sure you will, are spending too much money on nuclear weapons, for example. And yeah, I mean, are we spending money on the right things, I suppose? And Ruby's saying, well, maybe football doesn't even need to be sponsored by McDonald's because it's just expensive because we spend so much money on players. I think that's a fair summary.
The World Cup doesn't spend any money on players.
No. Really?
No. The World Cup is just an event. There's no players bought or sold.
Okay. So where's
the cost of
where's the money going? Where's the money going? How come it's so expensive to just get some people to play for football?
Because of the number of stadiums that have to be built and the infrastructure that needs to be in place for the.
Okay, so it's about building stadiums. We've got a new face to the table. What's your name?
Rob.
We've got Steve, we've got Ruby, we've got Daniel, we've got Alex, we've got Dave.
Can we go back to Fortnite?
Okay, I should just explain how Talkaoke works. It's kind of up to you where you want to take the conversation. There's a few different threads we could go to. Dave kind of threw in this thing about McDonald's sponsoring sports events, and is that right? Daniel's thrown in this thing about our countries wasting money on nuclear weapons when they could be spending on other stuff, maybe sporting events, maybe something else. And Steve wants to talk about Fortnite. So where do we want to go? Where do we want to take this? Alex, what of those subjects, does anything grab you or nothing at all?
Well, most of them are they have strong points in them.
Yeah, they've all got strong points. Well, what one do you want to talk about?
Probably about countries spending money on what they kind of.
Yeah, what country should be spending
it on.
Okay, like nuclear weapons. Ruby, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? Our countries waste, like the United States, wasting money on nuclear weapons when they could be spending it on sporting events, for example. That's what we're talking about here. This is Talkaoke. Come and have a seat. Don't be shy. Sit over there in the leeward direction. What if they were
smoking?
Okay,
let's talk about smoking.
Okay. It's kind of up to you where you want to go with this. If the United States, for example, didn't spend money on nuclear weapons, could they spend more money on cigarettes? Would that be a good use? What's the point of money even?
Would you rather live in a country which has the nuclear weapons than a country that doesn't?
Well, I wasn't denying that they weren't useful as a deterrent. I was pointing out that they're wasting money on developing more. Why build more and more when you can have? The US already has enough nuclear weapons to wipe out the world 10 times over.
So why build more?
Exactly.
But what about the question? I think you've still dodged the bullet, so to speak, on the question: would you rather live in a country with nuclear weapons or without nuclear weapons?
Based on the tensions between different countries that have been developing up and down for the last few decades, it would feel a little more secure in a country that would have nuclear weapons. Okay. But I wasn't pointing out that they weren't bad that having them wasn't horrific in the first place. It would having too many.
Okay, so we got that point. That you can have too many, you can have enough, but I think it's still valuable.
14.
Anyway, we're talking about. I'm going to go around the table on this one. Would you rather live in a country with or without nuclear weapons? Just a yes or no. We don't have to have a whole. Daniel's kind of put it down on the table now. Without, yeah.
Without.
Okay.
I know.
Well, really, if the problem is no one's going to get rid of their nuclear weapons ever, because other countries have nuclear weapons and they won't get rid of it if a certain country doesn't get rid of it, and then it's just a never-ending chain. Therefore I would rather live in a country with nuclear weapons.
Okay, you'd rather live in. Okay, yeah.
Safe.
Okay.
Without, I think you're more likely to aggravate the countries with nuclear weapons if you've got them yourself.
Okay.
There's more tension.
Okay, so it's better to be in place without, then you're not going to be part of the beef, so to speak. Would you rather live in a country with or without nuclear weapons? Sorry, I said it a bit too fast. Would you rather live in a country with or without nuclear weapons? Without. Oh, come and sit down, come and talk about it. We have got Dave, we've got Alex, we've got Daniel, we've got Ruby. What's your name again? Rob, and we've got Steve and Danny. And I'm Mikey, and that's what we're talking about. You don't have to sit down if you don't want to, but we can call him Smoking Danny. How about that? And that's what we're talking about now. It seems like most of the people around the table would rather live in a country with nuclear weapons.
North America have actually bought land in poorer countries to grow their food there, because they can't produce enough food in their own countries. That's something that's, I think, a major issue, and something that's, the population growing, the ability to develop and grow food for your population.
We're using more food land now for producing things like wheat, which it goes towards alcohol for cars now. So actually, what we're producing isn't always for food stuff. So are we not really thinking about how we're using energy?
Hang on a sec, because we didn't actually get you. What's your name?
Rachel.
Rachel, and what's your name?
Mark.
What was it again? Sorry, I forgot. Rob, that's right, Rob, of course. So we've got Steve, we've got Rob, we've got Mark, we've got Rachel, we've got Daniel, we've got Alex and Dave. At the moment we're talking about total global destruction. Is it going to be a lack of food? Is it going to be a horrible disease? Is it going to be nuclear missiles? Is it going to be Amazon? I didn't get the Amazon thing. You started talking about Donald Trump, and that attracted people to the conversation, I have to say. It always does. But what was the Amazon link?
Right, okay, so if Donald Trump, by his own estimation, has got 7 billion, but by most other people's estimation has got 4 billion, the guy who owns Amazon is worth $120 billion, Jeff Bezos. $120 billion buys you any election anywhere in the world. And currently Amazon, who only employ 5,000 people in the UK, pay almost no tax whatsoever because we are so frightened of Amazon and losing their future. Even though they don't employ anyone in the UK, therefore the tax benefit for us is almost zero, but we don't want to annoy them, so they get away with that.
How's that going to destroy the world?
Because if Amazon, from the position that Jeff Bezos is in, at some point there's going to be someone like Jeff Bezos who is not benevolent, and therefore will come in, take over a major global economic power and do whatever the bloody hell they want.
Is Amazon going to take over the world? Never mind Donald Trump.
Amazon, maybe you know this, Steve, as far as I'm aware, have the only basically robot-driven warehouse in the world. It's in China. And there's not a single person in it.
Hang on a second, Steve, because we've got some new faces at the table, and let me give some context. This is Talkaoke Freeform Talk Show. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Right now, we're talking about total global destruction. How's it going to happen? We started off, Daniel threw in the nuclear bombs, but then Rachel gave us SARS, and then Steve has mentioned Amazon. Is Amazon and its army of drones actually going to be out?
In 2022 though.
Why? Come and sit down because you're too far away over there. How is it going to end in 2022? We're all keen to know.
Hang on, is it my phone? I can't. Can't tell you just now. Do you know what I mean?
How's it going to? What's happening in 2022?
Alien intervention.
Alien intervention, okay, so we got, how's it all going to end? That's what we're talking about now. Is it going to be nukes, disease, or Amazon, or aliens? How do you feel it's going to go? Is this too heavy a subject for you?
No, I think, come on, guys, you're always going on about alien intervention. I can't get a word in.
Why?
It's not me.
Okay. So you're just representing somebody else's point of view.
Absolutely, man. Your extensive research on YouTube suggests that in 2022 that the aliens are going to land and show themselves and give us. I think Newport and Gwent most of them are going to.
So Newport is certainly a place to avoid, but then we knew that anyway. So we want to just go around the table and just get people's names. I want a one-word answer as to what is going to be the cause of total global destruction. I'm going to start off over here. What's your name?
Lila.
Lila, what do you think is going to end the world?
Slime.
I'm going to come back. Slime, okay. What's your name?
Reese.
And what's going to end the world?
Pizza World.
Pizza. Okay.
Nonny.
And what do you think is going to end the world?
World War III.
World War III, but is it going to be nuclear bombs? Is it going to be conventional warfare? Or Amazon-driven robot warfare where delivery drones coming from Newport Gwent are going to actually come and take over the planet?
Take your time.
Okay, well, I'll come back to you on that one.
Nick, what was the question?
What total global destruction? How's it going to
I think
happen?
it's going to be just consumerism.
Okay.
Massive consumerism.
Okay, so almost a kind of sea of consumer waste or running out of resources. What's your name?
Harry.
What's going to end the world?
Trump.
Trump. Okay. Okay.
I'm Ruby. I think it's going to be climate change.
Okay. Climate change.
Yeah.
Well, how's that going to end the world? It's just going to get warmer, isn't it?
I think we're going to...
Actually, it's too long a question. I'll come back to you on that one.
Can I be awkward?
Yeah.
How would you define end the world?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Are you talking the planet's just boom? Are you talking most of us are gone, but there's maybe just a few?
Okay. Okay. Are you talking? Okay. Okay. I mean, we're talking about destruction of 95% of the human race, or 100%, or end of the planet. Where do we want to go with this?
5% you've got to go.
Okay. So Steve's dropped it 95%. Yeah.
So that would lead me to wonder. Are the other 5%? Are they your Amazon?
Okay, so in a way, kind of takeover of the 1%, the rich exterminating the poor, kind of thing. Okay, could it be that? Could it be the rich exterminate? Hang on a sec. Okay, similar to the Amazon conjecture, but other platforms are out there. Okay. What's going to end? What's going to lead to 95% of the human race being destroyed?
The human race.
The human race themselves, but what aspect of it?
All of it.
Okay, so in a way, just our own badness. Daniel?
Overpopulation.
Overpopulation. Okay. Rob in the back there. Can you just pass the mic over there because I can't reach that far.
I think we're going to probably overpopulation, because we're not going to have any space to grow any food anymore.
Okay.
So we are going to inevitably have to eat each other.
Yeah.
And the big will eat the small, hence the 95%.
Well, the rich eat the poor, as Dave is saying.
If they're small, drone delivered. Yeah.
Yeah. Do the camera work, Ruby. Get on the camera. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Also, urbanization. So,
Yeah.
most of the human race moving to live in cities.
Right.
So, it could be possible. A natural disaster like an earthquake could.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, no, just asking Nick.
Did you say aliens?
Aliens, yeah. He said aliens over here. Okay.
You've been lied to from the beginning, see.
Okay, so we could go down this road. Anyway, we're going around trying to work out what's going to cause our demise as a species. Well, at least the poor are 95% of us. So we've got this idea we're living in cities and we could have some kind of city-wide problem or urban destruction somehow.
Yeah, because let's say here an earthquake would cause death of thousands of people in a city. But if urbanization continues and more people move to live in cities and becomes more and more densely packed, that same natural disaster could cause tens of thousands.
Okay, so we're getting too packed in a city. Rachel, what?
It would be a new global pandemic.
What's a pandemic? Tell us what a pandemic is.
It's a global infection rather than just localised.
So you're on the disease thing there.
Definitely.
Okay.
It's a good one. I think, in a word, ecocide. Okay.
Ecocide.
Ecocide. I'll elaborate on that as well.
Yeah.
I think we've come through a Cold War. We've come through.
Sorry, that's a pandemic alarm.
She's got. You can solve anything with that. That's one of the 5%.
Yeah.
Antibiotics and everything.
Anyway, sorry. The Cold War. Whilst the Cold War has never gone away. We have learn to kind of negotiate that one.
Yeah.
Okay. But then again, there's the Donald Trump equation, which is a total unknown.
Yeah.
So ecocide, and basically what that will involve is huge dislocation and disruption and.
Is it going to be climate change or another?
I think nature always has the trump card. That's the thing. And it's these huge unknowns.
So nature's going to slap us back in the face. Ecocide, is the environment going to...
I'm going for pandemic.
Pandemic, okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a few subjects there on the table. Where do we want to go with this? Are we being lied to about aliens, says Nick?
Well, on next point there is, and talking about aliens, is space exploration a waste of money?
Okay. All right. Okay.
And when you link it into the population problem, is it worth? Is it worth?
Population problem now.
Yeah.
There isn't a population problem
What
at all.
What do you mean?
In United States, if you were to go to New York, the population density in New York is 30,000 people per square mile. You could fit everyone in the entire planet into Yugoslavia or the former Yugoslavia at that rate, which means the entire planet, which is huge. If you exclude Yugoslavia, we could use it all, but we don't. There is no overpopulation.
So it's about.
I don't think
it's about organisation.
It's not a question of space. It's about sustainability and about finite resources.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a sec, Steve. Let's spread this out to everyone else. Are there too many people on the planet? Are there too many people on the planet? Steve says no, they could all go and live in Yugoslavia, even though Yugoslavia... Have you heard of Yugoslavia? Yeah. I mean, let's just say Croatia, because they're news at the moment. We could say, it doesn't really matter if it's a bit smaller. Let's say Croatia, you can fit all the human race in Croatia, and it would still be just like a large Manhattan. Are there too many people on the planet? That's what we're kind of saying now.
What kind of people, look?
Yeah.
Assume that kind of the attitude. Is there too many good people, too many greedy people, too many soft people, too many hard people?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I mean, if we've got an excess of people, is it greedy, soft, hard?
Intelligent, maybe.
Okay. What I mean?
Too many stupid people.
Okay. So too many stupid people.
Do we need to cull a lot of stupid people?
Yeah.
You know. And let's see what happens.
Okay, I mean
maybe that might be just before 2022.
Okay. So what if we have got too many people? Is it the stupid people we need to get rid of? Is it the greedy people? Which people do we need to see an end to? If there's too many people.
The fat cats going through.
The fat cats.
The fat cats are doing okay.
Okay. So
we need to bring back predators.
Let me just bring it to Alex.
Elaborate on the point about how we're kind of going to wipe ourselves out with overpopulation, stuff like that. Basically, all it takes is something bad to happen, and for someone to just be like, let's say if something happened in America and America blamed it on Russia, and it just all would kick off.
Okay, but would that kind of help things in a way to get rid of a few people?
Not really, because it would probably end in too many people being wiped out.
Too many people getting wiped out. Okay, so we're going to go from too many people to too few people, with just it all kicking off between America and Russia. Anything on this side of the table? Are you worried about total global destruction, however it's termed? Layla, are you worried about it?
I think as long as you get a pizza, you don't walk wrong with that.
What, can you see a day where you won't be able to get a pizza? The end of pizza?
I'll get 60 pizzas instead of burgers.
Okay.
There we go.
Nonny, are you worried about the world ending? About any of these, the wars or anything like that?
Yeah.
You are? How do you think it's going to happen? What's the biggest problem? Is it too many people? Or is it too many stupid people? Okay, give us a final thought before you go.
Oh, jeez.
Hold the mic, because I can't. I'm getting sore arms.
I mean, it's kind of burning, isn't it, and stuff. I don't know. It's. We don't live simply anymore. That's the thing, isn't it? And I don't know.
So you think, okay, that's a good thing to throw in though. Is it about simple living? Then we can have as many people as we wanted to. We wouldn't worry about the environment and stuff like that. Could we live simpler without pizzas? No. Okay. Okay. All right, give us a final thought, Dave, before you go.
Should we bring back human race's predators, like dinosaurs?
Okay, would that help the too many people?
Would that thin out the herd a bit?
Okay.
Bring back T-Rex?
Okay, is it... Okay. I don't know if we've got any biology teachers that can maybe confirm what the humans' predators used to be. Was it actually Tyrannosaurus Rex? Do we need more predators? I mean, earlier on we were saying, I think there was a comment at the very beginning of this Talkaoke about 7 hours ago, when they were talking about that actually everything we do is all based on running from predators, but those predators don't exist anymore. If we had lions and tigers, possibly Tyrannosaurus Rex, would that thin out the herd? Would it change our aspect? Would it change our environment? That it worked with the deer in Yellowstone Park.
We're all a bit cute now. We'd be on the phone. T-Rex, 12 o'clock. Keep running. Yeah, I got that, boss. Yeah. So we're too far down the road technologically, I think now.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so it wouldn't be a threat anymore.
It wouldn't be a threat.
Okay.
I think we're looking at the wrong type of threat. I think the threats are going to be microbic. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. That's what Rachel was saying. Let me just bring Daniel in on there. What's this?
We can't have any predators because they eat all the pizzas.
Okay. Okay, so you're a pizza predator, we know that. What was the point over here?
I don't think it's... okay. This is straying a little bit from the point, but another point, in some points, I don't think there's enough of one type of person. For example, people in power. There's too few people who control everything. A split-second decision could change the world.
Okay, so there's too many people in the world, but there's too few people in power.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a good point. But how could you have more people in power, and decisions need to be made? How do you make decisions with more people?
Well.
What's that?
ITV do it every weekend.
Do they?
Who do we keep? Who do we get rid of? It's Love Island. Let's press yes or no. Why do we need to have someone in charge?
Okay.
I could press yes on an app.
Okay, so could we have a kind of direct democracy, reality TV kind of decision-making process, and would we, as just the audience, would we vote for total global destruction? And if so, would we deserve it, I suppose?
I think that would work, but we'd need someone to manage it, and hence that's our issue, is that we need some sort of power base, some sort of system.
Yeah.
And once you get appropriated into that system, then it all goes wrong. I think humanity has some purity in it. I'm quite naive, but I think once you get into that position of power, then it all goes a bit wrong.
But I mean, does that not back up what Daniel's saying about there being...
Absolutely.
Okay, so if there were more people in power, then they'd make better decisions. Final thought, Daniel?
I think sorry, just a second.
I'll come back to you. Let me get a final thought from Alex.
If someone's in power, then they technically make most of the decisions for us. So if we all just work together, we'd all be fine, and there wouldn't be that many wars.
Okay, so work together and don't require people in power.
If it was all, remember when it was the continents were all together? I've forgotten what they called it, but if that was happening, and everyone kind of worked together, there wouldn't be any arguments. There wouldn't be any wars. Well, there would be arguments, but it'd be small arguments, like
constructive arguments, like today, for example.
Was it Eurasia when it were all the continents together just for humanity?
That was Andy Bell and Vince Clarke, wasn't it? Anyway, final thought?
I think just more people in power would solve a lot of problems, such as trust, example.
Yeah.
So that would leave you all as we leave on the term conspiracy theories.
Okay. Oh, throwing something in. Okay, so. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause. Come on. Yeah. What, Nonny, what were you going to say?
Well, if there were more people in power and people voted for things, you'd have to be careful because the people would have to be educated on what you were voting about.
Okay, that's a very good point. If we had more people in power, would we have your Love Island system of politics? Would it work if people are not educated? We've already heard about the poor quality of teaching going on in this country. Are people educated enough to actually...
I think they're purposely dumbed down. I think it's a long range thing.
Okay.
And Frank Zappa once said that politics is the entertainment department of a complex military machine.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much how it runs, and it's been going on for thousands of years. I think where we are now is the result of thousands of years of the money grabbers, the tight heads, and here we are now. And I think this is I think it's run its course. I genuinely think what you're saying is it's run its course.
Are you part of the? I'm assuming you are not considering yourself part of the elite.
Oh, I am.
Okay.
So if you are, does that mean I am?
Okay.
I mean, you're saying it's run its course and we're where we are now. We're in a field drinking beer, talking nonsense.
Contemplating.
I'm feeling pretty good about where I am.
All right, okay.
And if there's somebody Machiavellian over the top of me playing me like a puppet, I'm thinking, play on, brother.
Okay, now hang on a second, Nick. Let me get some more context, and maybe we can even get these people in. Is contemplating total global destruction in the field? Does that make us part of the elite? Does that make us part of the oppressed minority? Are we witnessing a kind of entertainment show of a military complex, or are we on the verge of an anarchistic political breakthrough? That's what we're asking here.
Healthy pizza to make people strong and people have superpowers.
Okay. Through pizza?
Through?
Why not?
Through food? Okay,
Yeah.
I think we should just get rid of all the leaders so everyone just works together.
How would that work? What would happen? I mean, what would happen? Would any decisions get made? How would it work?
Well, we would just all work together, so
Okay.
it wouldn't be one person deciding.
Okay, would it work? Would it work? What's your name again, sorry?
Harry.
Harry's suggesting we get rid of all leaders. Would that work? Would that actually work? Who would make the decisions, the important decisions that we need to make in this country? You'd make the decisions?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you look at historically civilizations that weren't based on power. I mean, people that led were looked at as like a custodian.
Right.
So you looked after as opposed to rule. So I think we have to sort of change the ethos of what leadership is.
Okay.
And make people custodians as opposed to leaders.
Okay.
Which historical legacy has been a custodian rather than...
My heritage is East African.
Yeah.
And so if you look at so we have a history that's passed down verbally.
Yeah.
So I had stories from my grandma that she heard from her grandma about people that would sort of just look after each other.
Yeah.
You know, that you would just look after a community, even though you had a title of leader or chief. It wasn't a paid position. It actually cost you more than you earned to actually look after a community.
Right,
yeah.
okay. So what do you get out of it then?
I don't know, a good feeling, I think, and then I don't know.
So it's more about
Exactly.
the feel-good factor. You actually, what you get out of it is the sense that you are the custodian. You're looking after these people. It's a sense, in a way, what you're getting is the sense of caring for people. Could that work? Should we bring that back in? Are our politicians?
No.
You think
I think money ruins it. Money ruins it. Power, money, the accumulation of wealth and titles and privilege and all of that jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the Queen our custodian in a £1 million mansion, as it were?
No.
Is she not?
Okay.
Does it not cost anymore?
She is.
Hang on, Steve, because we've got this exciting new face to the table. This is Talkaoke. We were talking. Come and sit down. Come and get involved in this. We've got Rob. We've got Steve. We've got. Is it Layla or Lila? We've got Lila. We've got Reese. And we've got Nonna. And we've got Nick. And we've got Harry. We've got Ruby on camera. What's your name? Emily and
Scarlett.
At the moment we're talking about, could we live in a world with no leaders? And if so, how does it work? Is it a question? Rob's suggesting that it could be like what used to go down in East Africa, where the person that kind of looked after everyone was the leader, but they got nothing out of it except for a good feeling. They were just in charge. Would it work like that? Do we need leaders?
I mean, I'd buy into that system. I would absolutely.
Okay.
Do you know what happened to that custodian system?
Yeah.
We had our minds sort of changed historically by basically people came over to Africa and told us how to think differently, and then that broke the back of that system.
Yeah.
And so we then got a taste of nice shoes and nice cars and a big house, and then that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
Maybe it does in the Amazon somewhere that hasn't been touched by Western philosophy, but I think it's gone. That whole.
So, I mean, do you think
feel good.
in that? Are you implying that aside from the question about colonialisation, but the idea of Western philosophy itself flawed in how we've got this?
No, because I look at it from 2 points. Western civilization has brought, like, we can send people to the moon, we can cure a million diseases, we can shoot a rocket out of space with lasers from Lithuania, whatever it is, and it's just, that is phenomenal, the science behind it, but I just think it's put in the wrong place. So I think Western philosophy, culture, arts, music is fantastic, but I think it's just sort of not focus on the right point.
Is the focus wrong? We've got all this stuff, but the kind of what we use it for is possibly the wrong thing. We've got technology and all sorts of other stuff.
If the focus was right, then why did this East Africa capitulate to completely wrong ideology?
Because we didn't have guns that went bang bang and shot and killed loads of people.
People went in there and took over and then started inflicting their view on those people.
I mean, strong. It's the same with North America. Exactly the same thing. It's like, you know, they were like, so it's an almost identical situation. I found it the other day that they actually they rebuilt the wheel. The North, they wouldn't use the wheel in the Indian like, you know, because the idea that it mechanicalizes things. And
do they think it was corrupting in some way?
Well, I think they saw the full journey of the power of it, like, you know, or the evil of it, like, do you know what I mean?
Okay, is the wheel inherently evil? Is Western civilization kind of corrupting?
Yeah, it comes back to what you were saying earlier on. There's lots of people out there with. There's a few people out there with lots of money that are basically controlling everything.
Like this,
They're the puppeteers. They're controlling the Rothschilds, is it?
Yeah.
The Rothschilds, for example, with all the money that they've got, basically control near enough everything, don't they?
I think Western society needs poverty. So capitalism, Western society, you need poor people to make the rich people rich.
Okay. So we need. Okay, well, let's bring some of the younger people in on this, because I feel like it's been mostly older people talking about this. Do you think that Western civilization is inherently corrupting? No?
Yes.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, what do you? I mean, do you think that do we need to search our soul about what we do in this country, about our values? Do you think?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. I mean,
tough question.
I mean, what do you think? Is there anything wrong with the country that you live in? Do you think?
Not in our country, but in America, I think they should just ban guns.
Okay, so guns maybe. Okay, let's go round on this one, Reese.
We should ban
pizza dough. No.
Yeah. Ban burgers.
Ban burgers. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's actually how we started off this whole conversation about McDonald's sponsoring the World Cup. But anyway, ban McDonald's. Okay, it's been said. It's started off this whole conversation actually. Scarlett, do you think this country is a bad country?
No.
Is there anything that we need to change about it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
Emily?
have no idea what's going on.
Okay, well, let me just try and break this down. So basically we started off talking about McDonald's and then sponsoring sporting events. And was it bad for an unhealthy food like McDonald's to sponsor healthy activities like playing football or the Olympics? And then we talked about, well, could countries spend the money on the World Cup instead? What are countries spending money on? They're spending money on nuclear weapons. Are nuclear weapons going to kill us? What about all the other things that might kill us, like environmental destruction, aliens, global diseases, all of these things. Then we started talking about, well, I mean, are people going to actually kill it? Are we going to kill ourselves because we're not organised in the right way? Are our politicians doing the right thing? Are you following me here, Emily? Yeah. So then. People coming up with all different ways that instead of having politicians like Theresa May and Donald Trump, we kind of organise it ourselves. And then we were sort of discussing about, is that possible and how could we do it? And then we're talking about different ways that people have of organising themselves, like the North Americans or the East Africans used to do back in the past. And that's where we are right now, really. Should we organise it differently, or should we keep it with in the same way?
what we should do is we should keep the party system, but everyone should be a coalition, and everyone should work together within those parties.
Okay, so we work together more.
So you work together so you got Conservatives, Labour, and Lib Dems, and everybody, and they all work together as one.
I think it's naturally heading our way anyway.
Yeah.
I think well, that's a very good point, actually.
You only have a coalition when there's an enemy. And if you look at the coalition between the Libs and the Conservatives, it wasn't a natural coalition, but the coalition existed because there was an enemy. At the moment, we've got Brexit, but it's still not, and it's creating a coalition between Conservatives and Labour.
Okay, so in a way,
because I could never work that out. They offer the country a vote for Brexit, and the whole country goes yeah or no. And then it gets left to whoever's in power to determine.
To work out what that means.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like it should have been.
Let me bring the kids into this. I mean, should we organise this in a different way? What do you think about Brexit? Have you got a view on it, Scarlett? Do you want a Brexit or not Brexit?
No.
You've not got a view on it. Emily, have you got a view on it?
No.
Have you got a view on it, Brexit or not Brexit, or something else?
I'm on television.
We're kind of on YouTube, if you want to be.
I want to be on YouTube.
Okay. What's that?
I don't want to leave the European Union.
You don't want to leave it? Okay, why not?
Then we have people because if we don't leave, then we have people behind our backs that are helping us.
Okay.
And if we leave, then no one's helping us, it's just us.
So once again, it's... So what do you think? It's about working together then. What do you think, Harry? Any opinions about this European Union?
Yeah, we all need to work together, but...
Yeah, you like the idea of working together.
Yeah.
What about this idea? Steve over here said that we should have to have an enemy. Do you agree with that? Just to help us kind of get together, so we've got
everyone
someone...
really does have an enemy, but we don't need one.
Okay.
This is what's happening. I think you're right. Historically, I often wonder, like the Egyptians and all these other great civilizations, that period of time, just as they were coming to the end, I often wondered what was going on there. What were the people thinking? And think, well, enough's enough. And I often wondered how that kind of permeates and what. This is why I kind of sat down, I suppose, at that point of the whatever you're doing, karaoke.
Talkaoke, yeah.
So I often wondered, it's interesting with the end of days thing, the next page, back to that whole idea when your man said, like, the end. What is the end of days? Is it just a new beginning, or is it a complete obliteration? So I like to think that it's a positive vibes. I'm positive, man. I like to think naive but positive.
Okay, we are sort of stumbling our way into the right direction. Final thought, Harry, before you go.
What about?
Well, anything. Are you positive like Nick? Do you feel like we're kind of going to muddle our way through to the future? That all this argument about Brexit and whatever, in the end, is going to lead to something good, and we're going to work out better ways to organise ourselves.
I think it's going to lead to something bad.
Yeah. What's it going to lead to?
Like another world war.
Okay. Is there going to be something good coming out of another world war?
No.
Okay. Okay. So not a positive outlook, Reese.
Oh, God's sake, mate.
Oh, God's sake.
I'll come back to you in a second. So we're talking about, you've not said much so far. Are you positive about how things, I mean, kind of Nick's given quite a sort of compelling view that we're going to somehow, through all these hardships and differences of opinion, somehow get to a better place. Do you think that's maybe...
I would like to think so, but I think there'll be a lot more devastation before that happens.
Okay, so
I think the world is shrinking.
Prepare for devastation.
I think there's so many places now that are suffering, and the world is getting smaller and smaller. In terms of places that people perceive are good places to go or to live or to be brought up or whatever, I think they're reducing so significantly.
Okay.
There's so much trouble everywhere in the world.
Okay, so we're going into a time of devastation and trouble. Okay.
She's just moved into a new house as well. That's awful.
Okay. All right.
It's very tricky, of course. It's very complex. I think you've got to maintain your own. I think you kind of get to a point, and you steer your own ship through it.
Yeah.
You create your own guiding things.
So you sort of go with the flow. You find your own currents, and you sort of. you kind of, through all of this devastation, we can find a way. Do you agree, Reese? Will you always be able to get a pizza at the end of the day? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Not pizzas at night, but pizzas in the morning.
Okay, pizzas for breakfast. That's okay. Pizza for breakfast. That's a definitely new idea on the table. You know what? I think that's enough for me right now. I might just be. Oh, we'll have another session. We've got a guy called Will who's coming from Birmingham. Who's going to be doing this later on. He's not here yet. But maybe it's time. I think I have. No, my brain. What's that? Okay, well, I don't know. Colin's an unknown as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, we're going to get final thoughts, but there will be another session later on. So let's just get some final thoughts from all the participants around the table, including you, Lila, and including you, Nonny, and including Connie, and Reese, and about anything. This could be about anything. It's final thoughts. We will be back later on. We will talk. Yeah. Final thought, Reese?
If we build 2 towers, we can get another tightrope walker like Philip Petit.
Okay, so you think rebuild the Twin Towers so that we can have someone walk across it with it? Couldn't you just have 2 sticks? Wouldn't it be cheaper?
1 stick.
Okay, 1 stick, and that would be an even more of a feat. That would be a feat, wouldn't it? That would be a feat. Okay, final thought, Scarlett?
I don't want to leave the European Union.
Okay. Final thought, Emily? Are you troubled by some of the things people have said? Are you excited? Neither?
I don't know.
Okay, Rob, final thought?
We're all different. Difference is fine, but we don't have to shoot each other and fight over it. We can just shake hands and appreciate that we're all different.
Okay, so get into the difference rather than have a fight about it. Final thought?
Find the love. Find the love.
Find the love. Where is the love this weekend?
Where is the love? There's lots of love here this weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So find the love, and it's around and about this weekend. So how about that?
We might face devastation, but life will always find a way.
Okay, life will always find a way. Final thought?
Does my dignity really flow out of the holes in my Crocs?
Yes.
Well, that's one that we. Well, that's maybe one for the final session tonight. I believe you're Colin. Have you got a final or initial thought?
Yeah, an initial and a final thought. I guess is coming home, just not this year.
Okay. Okay. Eventually, it will come home. Eventually. Hello, this is Talkaoke. We are just about to close down this session, but we will be back later on with another session where we'll talk about other stuff. Final thought, Lila? Have you heard any intelligent... Is there anything you've heard today you've thought, oh, that's a really good point?
Aliens.
The alien thing. Beware of the aliens. Okay. Nonny, final thought? I can ask you the same question. What's been the most important thing that's been said in this session? Or in the previous session?
Does she like gymnastics?
Was it the gymnastics point earlier on?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. How is Brexit going to affect gymnastics and the flow of talent in around the continent? That's what we were talking about earlier on.
In the words of Thomas Talkaoke, be pure, be vigilant, but most of all, behave.
Okay.
Drop the mic. Oh, give him the mic.
Okay, so thanks very much. There's been Talkaoke. I'm going to need some counselling now, but we will be back. We will be back later on for more chat and pizzas. Yeah.
I think God said we could all be called Chef.
Okay.
No, brilliant. Nice
Absolutely.
Thanks very much. We're here all weekend, and we will be back. I just need to go for a little bit of psychological counselling. Thanks for everyone for taking part.
What's your name, sorry, mate?
My name is Mikey. This is Talkaoke.
Mikey, Talkaoke, well done, man.
Thank you. Thanks very much.